I am, the one that you love. What's up, guys? Let's talk about a rumor. Now, guys, you know I don't talk about a whole lot of rumors on this channel. Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day, you know. I just need some time to get away from all these rumors. I can't take it no more. But anyway, this is an exciting rumor. And since it has to do with RECAST T'Challa, which is something I've been talking about for years, I figured I would break it down, my opinion on this, and give you my 2 cents. And I assure you, I am not jumping up and down about this. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. And I'd like to say, rest in peace to former President Jimmy Carter. It is going down today. He's going down into the ground today. All right. So thank you for all of your contributions, Jimmy Carter. So anyway, let's get into this rumor, guys. Now, you might recall years ago when I first started saying RECAST T'Challa, I was met with massive pushback. People were throwing holy water at me. The power of Christ compels you. They were like, no, it was too soon. It was blasphemous. Nobody could play this role except for the late Chadwick Boseman, I was told. And the character belongs to Marvel. The character belongs to Disney. They can do what they want. Who are you to say otherwise? I was told, sit down, I was told. Now, at that time, I realized a couple of things. There are some people in this world who will bend over for anything and for anyone. They will open up wide and just take whatever it is that they are given, you know? And there are levels to this. There are levels to this because there are people who believe that, of course, recasting T'Challa was inevitable. And these people believe that the son of T'Challa that we saw at the end of the abomination that was Wakanda Forever would be considered a recast. We're talking about T'Child, T'Bastard, Toussaint, you know, the little kid, right? T'Challa's son that was going to grow up without him, and somehow he was going to be king. And people consider that to be a recast, even though it's a completely different character, right? So I would say, in the face of this rumor that only seems to be coming from one source, right, that you're going to have to define for me what exactly is meant by recast, okay? Now, I'm going to read from CBR.com here so we can be on the same page, and I'm going to give you my opinion about this and why I believe that it's not the exciting W that everybody might think it could be, all right? There's a couple of things that could go wrong here, actually more than a couple, and I want to talk about that and get your opinion on this. All right, so the headline says, Marvel Studios reportedly planning to recast T'Challa for upcoming Black Panther appearances. Now, when Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman tragically passed away in 2020, Marvel Studios said it would not recast the character. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. No. Zippo at all. It's over, kaput, they said. But just over almost 5 years later, executives have seemingly had a change of heart. A change of heart or a change of wallet or a change, you know what I mean? Just, that's it. Just, they're looking for some change, man, you know? And I think that's more likely what it is. After all, I laid out very clearly, as soon as Kevin Feige made that announcement, the reasons why it was a mistake to kill the character and exploit the death of a fine actor. Among those reasons, I said, children at the time found a lot of inspiration in the character of T'Challa. You know, much sorely needed inspiration, might I add. My son was among them. You know, they just felt good. And after all, what's wrong with good feelings? You know what I mean? Also, the character, T'Challa, Black Panther, been around for over 50 years. Over 50 years. And it was one of the most successful Marvel MCU films that came out. It made history. I believe it was the first movie to be shown in Saudi Arabia in forever. You know, a lot of people don't talk about that, you know? So it was a success. It was an original character. It wasn't a race-swapped character. You know, it was highly, highly significant, you know? And they ignored all of that. I was shouted down. I was ran off of panels, you know, things like that. Everybody was hurling insults. And a lot of people feel that recasters are just insufferable. You know, they put them up there with the Snyder Cut people. You know, it's just, you know, that's just how it is. So as usual, Disney, the MCU, did their usual job of separating the audience, of dividing the audience. It's what they do best, you know. So even today, you know, you can see people getting cussed out, you know, strangers cussing people out depending on where they stand with this whole recast T'Challa thing. So it has nothing to do with the change of heart, just to say that. It's all about making that money, right? Wakanda Forever was a bust. You know, everybody knows it. And now they're looking at trying to do something different, you know, that might make it a little bit better. But according to Hollywood scooper, Jeff Snyder, no relation to Zack Snyder, spelled differently, Marvel Studios is currently searching for a new actor to play T'Challa in future projects, with Marvel reshuffling the deck in advance of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, with Robert Downey Jr. coming back not as Iron Man, but as Dr. Doom. I'm told that the door is firmly open for T'Challa to be recast via the magic of the bullshit multiverse, he said. No, well, I put in the BS part. I hate multiverses. I cannot stand multiverses. They are the ultimate cheat code in these movies. You know what I mean? It's like it takes away all of the dramatic consequences and all of that. If you could just pop and bring people back, oh, they come from a multiverse, it's another dimension, then what's the point? Who cares? You know what I mean? Nothing matters. You can kill a character and okay, we can cross the street called the multiverse and bring him back, you know? But anyway, so the magic of the multiverse. I heard that an actor was actually offered the role this past fall, a couple of months after Downey's big reveal at Comic-Con. But they turned it down, not wanting to jeopardize their career momentum by stepping into Boseman's gigantic shoes, which may be too big to fill. Even for Hollywood's most talented black actors, he continued, oh my God, blah! We're talking about acting, man. And one thing that my pops used to tell me, don't walk around thinking you're the toughest guy on the planet, because there's always somebody who's tougher. There's always somebody who's better, who's stronger, who's faster. You know, and I would imagine the same thing would go for actors and performers. There's always going to be somebody who's just as good or better than that actor. There goes Smokey again. Smokey, no. Anyway, I love that dog. It's my puppy. But yeah, so they're trying to act like nobody. Yeah, his shoes may be too big to fill. Yes, if you are simple of mind. Although it remains unclear if the character will appear in the upcoming Avengers movies, Schneider believes that the newly cast T'Challa will lead Black Panther 3. How? How, Sway, I ask you? They have painted themselves into such a corner that I can't even see how they would do this. Now, they just said multiverse, right? But why would we want to waste time with a multiverse version of T'Challa trying to come into the main universe? Now we have a big ass boring movie of people trying to accept this new T'Challa, of his son trying to get to know his father from the other universe. Nobody wants to see that, man. To me guys, multiverse T'Challa is just as bad as to bastard, to child, to sant. It's T'Challa in name only. And like I said, there are levels to this. Some people will accept that as a recast. Like, I don't know, let's say E-Man, for example. E-Man would accept T'Challa. That would satisfy his itch for T'Challa. As long as it has the name T'Challa on it, then we're good. You know, you could name a footstool T'Challa and give that footstool all of T'Challa's original stories, and we would be satisfied. You know, some of us would be, oh, well, the footstool's name is T'Challa. That does it for me. Somehow the footstool came back to life, which reminds me, this to me is such a mess. It reminds me of The Rise of Skywalker, whereas general audiences, they don't follow multiverses. They don't care about multiverses. To me, it would be the same as saying somehow the Emperor has returned. Somehow T'Challa has returned. Through the multiverse, the general audience doesn't give a damn about multiverses. You killed that character off screen. All right? To general audiences, that's all they know. That's all they understand. That's all they're going to want to understand. They're not going to try to figure out your multiverse. They don't care about that. The only answer I would say is the hashtag that I've been using for years, which is hashtag Reboot Black Panther. Reboot the whole thing. Throw everybody out. But before I start going off, let me finish this here. It says here, Snyder also revealed that Black Panther director Ryan Coogler will be actively involved. There you go. He will be actively involved in the recasting process to ensure that everything will be handled with the utmost care and in consultation with Boseman's family. Why are you in consultation with Boseman's family? Does Boseman's family own the character? You know what I mean? Are we talking about the royal family? You have to be in consultation. What do you think about that? Oh, now we care about Boseman's family. Wasn't Boseman's brother the one who said that his brother would want to have this character to be recast? He would want the character to live on. I believe he did. I believe it was Boseman's brother. So now, all of a sudden, male feminist Ryan Coogler wants to be in consultation with Boseman's family, handling it with the utmost care. No, you're fired, I say. Get him out of there. A whole new team. Marvel previously ruled out recasting the character for 2022's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Instead, T'Challa was written out of the story, having died from an unnamed illness. Letitia Wright's Shuri later took up the Black Panther mantle. To this day, I have still not seen that movie. I will not. No, I won't. Guys, you got to understand something here, all right? They made a complete mess of this, all right? Now, from the beginning, I've always said you have to judge Black Panther on two fronts. By the actual movie, the quality of the movie, because I know a lot of people who believe that the original Black Panther movie, it wasn't all that. It was mediocre. It wasn't the best MCU film. The best MCU film was Winter Soldier or Infinity War or something like that. It wasn't Black Panther. Okay, that's fair enough. But I've also said that you judge that movie by its cultural impact as well. It meant a lot of things to a lot of people. You understand? So by doing what they did and killing that character after the cultural impact that it had immensely complicates this situation, because you have some people out there who very strongly believe that the character should not be recast just because Chadwick Boseman did such a great job with it. Leave it alone. You know, they never want to see, you know, they're on board with Shuri, you know, and in that camp, you will also find people who believe that the Black Panther Wakanda IP has now become a property of female empowerment, you know, so it's Black female empowerment, you know, even more, you know, so it's bad enough that it's female empowerment, but when you put the Black female empowerment thing here, you are going to get a major blowback if you take that so-called mantle away from Shuri, okay? It doesn't matter how all of us feel about that, you know, on this side of things, the recast T'Challa side of things. No, there are people who believe that Shuri has earned that so-called mantle. It's a Black girl magic, you know, all of that stuff. Now, to take that away from that now would, to some people in the audience, mean that misogyny has won. You know what I mean? So it kind of complicates that in that way. Like, oh, you know, I can see the root now. You know what I mean? Like I read to you, actually, Dr. Boyce Watkins, when he was calling out Black men, saying that it takes nothing away from your manhood to have a female Black Panther. You know, get over yourselves, he was saying. So there's a large portion of the audience that feel that way, that Black men are just crying, you know, in our insecurities because of a female Black Panther. So you have that going on, you know what I mean? So it's a very, very complicated thing, guys. It's not as simple as you might think to try to do this within the universe of the MCU, which is the reason why I am of the opinion that they have to reboot the whole thing, start over. All right. Even when Chadwick Boseman was involved, I dare say they were starting to go down the wrong path, even when he was still with us. You know what I mean? So being that Chadwick Boseman has passed away, and it was tragic that he did, I think that now would be a time to explore rebooting the whole thing, getting a whole new creative team, people who are not in their feelings, you know, people who are not torn about what to do, people who are not in consultation with Chadwick Boseman's family. You know, this to me is the way to go. I am not a fan of a multi-universe T'Challa coming up into this, this reality that we have here. To me, as I said, it's no different than T'Challa. You're just putting a name on a whole different character. It's a whole different character, guys. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. It's like they killed the T'Challa. He is dead. They killed him. They're not taking that away. He is still dead. They still killed him, and they still killed him in a disrespectful way. They killed him in a way that doesn't happen in the comics. This changes nothing. That's my opinion on this. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up, but let me see if there's anything else that has to be said here. I don't think so. All right, so that's it for the article. Like I said, there's only one source here, and that's Jeff Snyder. So I guess we'll find out, as time goes on, if there's anything more to it, or if it's just a rumor. If it's just a rumor, it's just a rumor. There's a lot of them out there. But why don't you guys get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this particular rumor? There's a lot of you who don't care, And this reminds me, before I wrap this up, there's one more consideration that only I'm going to bring up here. I know a lot of people, they don't want to face this. They want to try to diminish this whole thing, but it's the truth. There's a large portion of the audience out there who are tired of so-called DEI concerns, right? And because they're tired of DEI stuff, they project that onto everything that is predominantly black, all right? So we've allowed the MCU, we've allowed Disney to say that the whole Black Panther franchise is for those people, right? It's for black people. Predominantly. That's the way they market it. They want the stuff to be coming out during Black History Month, all of that stuff, right? This movie, unlike the original movie, will not break through on its own merits, right? It's going to be marketed a certain way, whether they want to or not, just because the climate has changed since 2018, all right? Like I said, there's a lot of people who don't want to hear that. They're going to try to downplay it. But dude, I'm here. I see what's going on. And you guys know that I've been talking about it. All right. So that's also a concern. The audience is not the same as it was before. All right. So trying to squeeze this into the MCU is going to be a very, very difficult proposition indeed. I believe that the only chance and the strongest chance that they have is to reboot the whole thing, to let it stand on its own merits again, to have it break through the way that it should, without the tricky multiverse crap and all of that stuff and the explanations and everything. No, just start the story again. Throw everything out. I'm talking about the writers, the directors, Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, everybody. Start the whole thing again, man. But that, to me, is the next step after Recast T'Challa, which is the reason why I've been using that hashtag. Recast T'Challa was just the first step. Now I believe they should recast to reboot. That's what I believe. You guys can get in the comment section and let me know. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, please hit the super thanks feature on each and every one of my videos. It's right there along the bottom of the screen. You can do that if you like. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to me, and I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.